I thought it was a mixed bag overall so far as Kenny Young's performance versus the Colts. Um, a lot of stuff I like, and you can see the potential there, and you can see the things he does well already as a rookie, and then you also see some stuff he's got to work on. Here he just makes a tremendously instinctive play, and he trusts his instincts. Look at this burst right off the ball. It's already just burning downhill. And he beats this guard to the spot here. I think he's just got to, as Ray Lewis used to say, shoot his gun there. He doesn't finish. You see him kind of break down a little bit in the hole instead of just keeping his course toward the back. He's close on that. Perhaps they'll talk to him about that on the following day when they check out film. But look at that burst, immediate burst right off the ball. He's got to finish though. This is what you love about him right here. Sort of filling this gap in case there's a run. Stops in his tracks, and then he's responsible for this back. Watch the coverage. He's right in this guy's hip pocket. I like how he hits him too. He's got 5 yards. Why not? Really good instincts to fill here and then to cover this guy. That's, again, one of the things they like about him, or that you would hope to think about him, is that he'll be able to cover Bell out of the backfield, guys like that. Upon first viewing this play, it may not appear that Kenny does a terrific job, but he actually does. Does a good job taking on this tackle and then forcing the play back inside. He's trusting his backside help here, and he's forcing the play the way he ought to. He gets off. First, he gets off the tackle, cuts off that running lane. It's really McClellan here who gets hung up. So he's really responsible for keeping that play back, forcing that play back inside here. And the reason it goes for a couple extra yards is McClellan's hung up. Here's the area they'd like to see him improve the most. He does a good job of coming over the top here, following these pulls, reading his keys, filling the proper gap here. But this lineman gets his hands on him. And the Ravens have it blocked up, or defended really well here. But if they didn't, this guy's going to move Kenny out of the play, and Kenny can't get off of him. I mean, that happens. Doesn't happen to the great linebackers as much, but it happens to linebackers generally. He's got to find a way to fix that. That's what they'd like to see him improve the most. You still see him getting hung up on blocks. Here he does a really good job getting around the block and sniffing out this screen. Yeah, he's got a good head start here, but so does this tackle, or this guard, excuse me. He gets around him, he sees he's got outside help here. And 38 makes a great play on that, really does. Watch 38. Sorry, 38, I don't know your name. But Kenny does a nice read on that screen and gets around the block. I'll take getting around the block now. Here he does a great job, again, just doing his job, knowing the down and distance. It's 3rd and 21. You see him, he's not in a hurry to get anywhere. He's going to watch what's underneath of him. Sees this back sneak out, watch his closing speed here. Makes a great open field tackle. I'm not in love with his physicality. He needs work shedding, but I am pretty partial to his instincts against the run. And I'm partial to him in coverage, of course. Watch, here again, you see him just breaking right at the snap. He's going to force this guy away from that gap. That's where that run was designed to go. Makes it go outside and then pursues. Now, I keep saying it, but I keep seeing it. Kenny's instincts against the run are good. You see a few plays here in this video where he goes untouched, but he finishes. He has good gap responsibility here. He reads the play, has an understanding of where that play is going. See, he watches that tight end going into that hole. He knows Correa's there. He's going to fill his gap. He does his job. Finishes. Here we see an example of Kenny running with a tight end, stride for stride. There he is. Watch him stay with his tight end. Just in his hip pocket. And that's one of the reasons they like him, or liked him, going into the draft. And I think they see, there's our boy Tim. They see Kenny as filling a missing piece in this defense. They have someone who has the ability to cover tight ends and running backs. Not that he's the only one on the team that can do that, but certainly they like that about him. Kenny's going to be seen here blitzing from the line of scrimmage, and I didn't see this as a strength of his. You know, in college, he just wasn't doing it very often, and he kind of looks stiff doing it. But here he looks pretty good. You see him beat this tackle, takes on half his body, working in tandem there with, is that Tim? Yep. Of course, this guy's attention is more towards Tim. But he ends up with a successful rush here, ends up flushing the quarterback. And I think he looks more comfortable doing it this week than he did against Chicago. They had him blitzing a lot. So it could be something that maybe it's not a strength, but it is something that he's improving on. I love this. Here we see him running with a wide receiver downfield and right in his hip pocket. He's targeted here. Like to see him get his head around. We can see these got very good coverage here downfield on a wide receiver for a linebacker. I don't know, 30 yards down the field. Just another angle on that 2-point conversion play. He sees the empty set. He's thinking about it. The fact that this quarterback might keep it here. Takes one step outside, and there's a big gap for this guy to run through. He cuts it off. Great job by Kaufusi too, and Seiler. But yeah, you know Kenny was thinking about that before the ball's even snapped. Watch the quarterback keeper. He breaks on it. He's got that burst, man. He really does. I'd like to see him finish more physically sometimes, but he does a great job here.